Old man Ejike could not sleep. Each night, he lay on his raffia mat, tossing and turning. He scratched his white beard and stared at the dark ceiling of his mud house. He didn't know why, or maybe he did, but the image of the beautiful young woman with the long neck and shimmering gold jewelry refused to leave his mind. He saw her even in his dreams. That soft voice, that gentle smile. "Eat well, Papa, we have enough." That single smile squeezed his heart in a way that confused him. He sat up, shook his head, and whispered to himself, "Ah, Ejike, you are an old man. Why can't you forget this girl? She's another man's wife." Maybe I'm just getting old and foolish, but her face wouldn't leave his mind. After rolling over for what felt like hours, Ejike sighed deeply and reached out to tap his wife's shoulder. "Efananya," he whispered. The woman beside him groaned, pulling her wrapper tighter. "What is it again, Ejike? Why are you disturbing my sleep in this cold night? Let me rest." But Ejike sat up straighter and cleared his throat. "There's something I must tell you. It's about that young woman, the one who gave me food at Obiora's compound in Obaduru." Ifananya turned to face him, frowning. "And so, you've talked about her before. Must you wake me up to say it again?" Ejike's voice dropped to a whisper. "Her neck is very long, just like our baby's neck. The one we lost?" Her Ifananya's eyes widened for a moment, then hardened. "The gods forbid. Don't say that. How can that girl be our child?" Ejike's eyes were misty. "I don't know, but my heart is not resting. Each time I see her in my mind, my chest beats like a drum. What if it's her body, her eyes, her voice? Ifananya, she looks exactly like what our daughter would look like now." Ifananya hissed loudly and turned her back to him. "Sleep, old man. That child is gone. Even if she's alive, do you think she'll accept us now? Forget it. Let sleeping dogs lie." Ejike lay back down, but sleep refused to come. His heart whispered what his mind still feared to believe. Meanwhile, in Zara's home, a full year had passed since the famine. The sky had opened its mouth and poured rain like never before. The villagers of Obodoro danced in the streets, shouting, "The gods have heard our cry." Dry trees came alive again. Rivers that had cracked into dust began to flow. Yams, cassava, and maize filled the farms. Hunters returned from the forest with fat bushmeat. Joy returned, but not into every heart. Some hearts were still bitter and dangerous. During the famine, people had bowed before Zara and Obiora, thanking them for saving lives. They had called her Queen Mother, praised her beauty, and acted like her long neck was no longer a thing to mock. But now that food had returned to everyone's home, so had the gossip. "Who does she think she is?" they murmured. "If not for Obiora's money, who would even look at her? Look at that neck. Like giraffe, she's walking around with pride." But Zara paid no attention. She was heavily pregnant and happier than ever. Her belly was round like a calabash. Her skin glowed like sunlight on palm oil. Her gold necklaces stacked from chin to chest like royal armor. She looked like a goddess, and Obiora treated her like one. He brought her fruit every morning, massaged her feet at night, and never left her side. But behind the walls of their big house, a new storm was growing. Aluchi's jealousy had returned, stronger than ever. During the famine, she and her friends had bowed their heads at Zara's gate like humble maidens. Now that they could feed themselves again, their true colors returned. One afternoon, Aluchi called her closest friends, Amaka, Neka, and Ifunaya, to a secret meeting behind Zara's house. They sat on logs beneath the old mango tree, where no one could hear them. Aluchi's eyes blazed. "Did you people see the way she was catwalking in the village square yesterday? That her long neck swinging like she's the queen of the white man's land?" Amaka scoffed. "I even greeted her. She ignored me." Neka spat. If not for Obiora's money, who would notice her? Giraffe Girl is feeling like queen. Oluchi crossed her legs and lowered her voice. I can't take this anymore. She took Obiora from me. Now she wants to collect the whole village's respect too. Never. We must bring her down. Ifunaya's eyes widened. What are you planning, Oluchi? Don't bring trouble to us. Oluchi smirked. Relax. We won't touch her belly or do anything that will get us banished. I have a better plan. We will disgrace her publicly, make people laugh at her again. I swear she'll regret ever taking my Obiora. The girls exchanged nervous glances, but her words lit something dark in their hearts. Tell us, Amaka whispered. And under the dancing mango leaves, Oluchi began to whisper her plan, one word at a time, each sentence poisoned with envy. Back inside Zara's home, all was peaceful. She sat in a soft chair, rubbing her round belly, humming a sweet song. Beside her, Mama Adiaze was knitting tiny baby clothes, her fingers moving with joy. Obiora entered, holding a basket of ripe mangoes and roasted bushmeat. He knelt beside Zara and kissed her forehead. My queen, he said with a grin. How is our prince or princess today? Zara giggled shyly. Dancing inside me, Obiora. I can't wait to meet our baby. Mama Adiaze looked at the two of them, her eyes full of quiet joy. If only the world knew what this girl has been through, she thought. But now, look at her, shining like a morning star. As they laughed and ate, they did not know that just beyond their compound walls, jealous mouths were plotting. A few days later, Oluchi took things further. She wanted Obiora back, even if it meant using charms. That afternoon, she grabbed Amaka. Follow me, she whispered. Where? Amaka asked. You didn't even let me wear better slippers. Oluchi hissed. Just come. I've found a strong solution. After today, Zara will pack her things and leave Obiora forever. Amaka was scared, but curiosity pushed her forward. They followed a narrow bush path until they reached a dark, hidden hut in the forest. Red clothes waved in the wind. Cowries and feathers lay on the ground. The air smelled of burnt herbs and old secrets. Inside the hut sat a native doctor. Old, dark, chewing bitter cola, with red eyes and crooked teeth. My daughters, he said slowly. Why are you here? Oluchi knelt. Baba, please help me. A girl used witchcraft to snatch my husband-to-be. She tied him with her long neck in gold. I want him back. I want her gone. Amaka trembled, regretting everything, but it was too late to run. The native doctor listened. He nodded and clapped his dry hands 3 times. Then he brought out 2 small wooden dolls, a man and a woman, tied them back to back with dirty rope, spat on the floor, and whispered some ancient words. Then he handed them to Oluchi. Bury this behind his house, he said. As the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple, Oluchi and Amaka returned from the native doctor's hut. Their faces were tight with fear, but Oluchi held the wooden dolls like a sacred weapon. Are you sure about this? Amaka whispered, as they stepped back onto the village road. Oluchi didn't answer. Her eyes were hard. Her heart was a storm of jealousy and desperation. That same night, under the thick darkness of the new moon, Oluchi tiptoed behind Zara and Nidu's compound. She found a quiet corner near the mango tree, dug a shallow hole with her bare hands, and buried the dolls back to back, just as the native doctor instructed. Let her leave. Let her go mad. Let Nidu return to me, she whispered, her voice shaking. Then she covered the hole and ran off. 3 nights passed. On the 4th night, Zara woke up from sleep, panting. Her body was hot, her chest tight, her neck that graceful golden tower felt heavy. She sat up, gasping, and Nidu rushed to her side. My queen, what is it? I can't breathe properly. My heart is beating too fast, she said, clutching his arm. Mama Adiaze ran in from the next room. Zara, are you all right? Zara couldn't speak. Her body trembled, sweat poured down her face. It felt like her soul was being dragged out of her body. They called the healer. She gave her herbs, but nothing changed. The next day, Zara collapsed while walking in the compound. Her gold necklaces snapped and scattered across the floor like shattered blessings. Fear swept through the house. Mama Adiaze prayed, fasted, lit candles. Nidu never left her side. Then one evening, as Zara drifted in and out of sleep, she heard a strange voice, cold and whispery, calling her name. Zara, leave, go away, he is not yours. She sat up screaming, something is wrong. Mama Adiaze cried. It was Nidu who noticed the signs. The cracked mirror, the dying plant near the window, the small feathers found under their bed. This is not normal, he said. Someone is using dark medicine. And so, he called for Dibia Ugo, the oldest and wisest seer in the neighboring village. The man arrived with a wooden staff and a pouch filled with sacred powder. He walked slowly, eyes closed as if he could smell evil in the air. He entered the compound, turned in a full circle, then pointed to the back of the house. Dig here, he said. They dug, and found the dolls. Everyone gasped. Mama Adiaze fell to her knees. Zara, weak but conscious, wept. Who would do this? She whispered. But she already knew. Oluchi. She never forgot her voice, her insults, her rage. Dibia Ugo burned the dolls that night. After cleansing the house with herbs and chants, he gave Zara a bitter drink made with roots and bark. The next morning, she opened her eyes and smiled for the first time in days. Nedu hugged her tightly. You're safe now. But the news had spread. Oluchi's name was on every tongue. Some people wanted her banished. Others said she should be punished by the gods. But Zara? Zara stood in the village square, her long neck held high, and said, let her be. What she wanted was love. What she used was hate. I will not repay darkness with darkness. The villagers bowed their heads in shame and respect. Even the elders agreed. This is a true queen. And so, life returned to peace. Zara gave birth to a baby boy, strong, bright-eyed, and beautiful. They named him Chinonso. God is close. And this time, the baby had no unusual neck, but every time he saw gold, he reached for it with both hands, like he already knew what his mother once overcame. Zara would smile, lift him into the air and say, you, my son, will never feel shame. Your mother wore it, turned it into gold, and became queen.